You've heard me mention him here on this podcast before, but my teacher honey, aka my fiance, is my special guest on today's episode. Well, what is extra special about today's episode is that this is being released the day that we are getting married, June 8th, 2023. So if you're listening to this after that date, we are officially married and he's officially my husband. Unlike me, he's not into the podcasting and social media thing, so be sweet on him. I thought that this would be a fun episode behind the scenes of what it's like being with me and what he's marrying into. This is a fun, mix it up episode that I think you'll enjoy, and more so for me to document a fun memory for us. Welcome to the Elementary STEM Coach Podcast, a show that'll help you with lesson ideas, systems, and actionable tips to apply to your classroom. I am your host, Naomi Meredith, a former classroom teacher turned current STEM teacher and coach. With over a decade of experience teaching and a master's degree in STEM leadership, I am here to coach you throughout the year to help you gain back more time to create innovative experiences for your students. Grab your earbuds and let's get started. Well, welcome, Eric, my teacher honey, to the podcast. I hardly ever use your first name, so you're like the secret mystery person.
Perfect.
And this is your first and probably your last podcast interview.
Absolutely. God.
Well, thanks for doing this. And we have little Frederick. We don't have video of this, but Frederick is actually sitting in the middle of us. Whenever we're together, Frederick insists he has to be in the middle. So he's not in one lap or the other. He's sitting here with a blanket, cuddling up. Poor little guy. So for those of you who don't know, my teacher honey is actually a teacher. I'm not just saying that he's a teacher honey because I'm a teacher. No, he really is a teacher. And he teaches high school Spanish, which is entirely different than elementary STEM. And when we first met, which we'll get into in a second, I was a third grade teacher at the time. So he's seen my whole transition from me being a classroom teacher to a STEM teacher, business owner the whole time, but that's really grown as well. So that's so much fun for you. You see all the behind the scenes every day.
I can't even explain how fun it is.
My office, when I first claimed this room as my office, I was like, hey, can you hang up a shelf for me? And you're like, sure. And then what is my office now?
Well, then she took the doors down to the closet and removed the bed. And yeah, now it's a whole something.
And it's like not girly at all, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, you like my pillow. What does my pillow say? Oh, babe cave.
Yeah.
It's definitely a babe cave.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so people would probably want to know. So this is behind the scenes. There's a little bit of STEM, but not really. So Eric, how did we meet?
We met at Top Golf with a mutual teacher friend's birthday party, actually. And so, yeah, we were playing golf and...
well, you were playing golf.
Yeah, you tried to play golf. Yeah, and it was just a natural like birthday party, kind of no app, no weird first date. It was just kind of natural.
Well, and he was so funny because we were not actually set up. It wasn't a setup that I know of.
No,
it wasn't a setup. And so when it was my turn to hit the golf ball, now I was a cart girl in college. I never played golf and never had any desire to. So when it was my turn to hit, Eric would just sit in this chair. Every time it was my turn, he would sit there and just start giggling at me.
You're not very good.
I know. And I find out later that you're a golf coach.
Yeah.
And you gave me 0 pointers.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're not that sorry. So we've been together ever since, which the whole teaching world, I know most of you here are teachers. We just know each other. And so it was a good little connection. And our wedding will be mostly teachers.
Yes, it will.
What did our DJ say about with teachers?
They like to have the most fun as soon as summer comes.
Yeah. So our DJ is super excited to have our wedding. He's so cute. He's going to be a good DJ, which we're recording this like 3 days before our wedding. So this is pretty fun. this is how much time we have on our hands. We're recording a podcast together.
Yeah.
We're not stressed at all.
No.
Okay, so then how did you propose, or should I say how I thought you were going to propose?
Well, the fake one?
Yeah.
Well, the first time, I guess, we were in Costa Rica, just on vacation. I think it was just summertime, so there was no like special date. And we just were enjoying the beach and in Costa Rica. And so we had a lot of rain a couple days before, and it was our last night. And if you don't know, like in Costa Rica around that time, it's like exactly like 6 o'clock or 6:10. The sun goes down and it's on the ocean, and it's like unbelievable sunsets every single night as long as it's not raining. So we got some wine, walked down there, was going to get dinner.
Yeah.
And for some reason, she thought because we had wine and there was a sunset.
We're dressed up.
We were dressed up for dinner. So she thought I was going to propose. I don't know why she thought that.
Oh, like a photographer.
Yeah. And so then a photographer, just a random person on the beach, wanted to take our pictures. Like, oh, sunset's coming. Let's get pictures of you. And I, of course, said, no, we're good.
And I was like, oh my gosh, in my head, I didn't say this out loud. In my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is all part of the plan. He knows I want pictures, especially for Instagram. He knows I want pictures. I have to say yes. Like, he set this up.
And I said no. And then she went and found her and said, yes, we'll do it. And I like taking pictures as much as like doing podcasts. It's not the most fun. So we go through this photo shoot. It's super awkward.
For him.
Yeah. And then she's like upset with me because I didn't propose.
Well, I wasn't upset that night. Was I upset that night?
No, but I found out afterwards.
Yes. Yeah, well, we got back. We were talking to friends about it. And then I just tell you, I thought you were going to propose. And you're like, I didn't even have the ring or anything. I wasn't even planning on it.
It was all made up in her head.
It was all made up. So I will post one or two of those pictures and the links to the show notes for this because they're really cute pictures.
They're kind of awkward.
There's one that's really cute. Okay, so that's the fake proposal. So that was 6 months before you actually proposed.
Yes.
And so how did you actually propose?
So then we went on a cruise. I mean, we traveled quite a bit. So we went on a cruise for Christmas. We did it the year before and we loved it. That's only 2 cruises we've ever been on.
No, that was our first cruise.
No, it was our second.
No.
It was our first.
It was our first cruise.
That's right.
It
was our first cruise.
Yeah.
And we were with 2 friends. And so I thought this would be perfect. I could do it on Christmas. We're in the Bahamas, that sort of thing. Her 2 friends are there so they could get pictures of it all. And we were just at our fancy dinner and had asked her friends to take a picture of us. Yeah. And they got their phones out. And then while they're getting their phones out, I just popped the question and she freaked out, had no idea
I didn't know
what was going on. And then we find out that night that her friend got COVID. And this was in the middle of COVID. This is what was it, 2020?
No, 2021, but it was still COVID restrictions.
But, the boats just opened back up.
Yeah.
You couldn't go on a cruise forever. And so then we got quarantined for 34 hours or something in our room until our COVID test came back, which was a nightmare. And so, we spent a whole entire day.
Well, we snuck out of our rooms too.
Well, yeah, because, we celebrated that night. It was Christmas dinner. It was probably, 5, 6 o'clock at night when it happened. And we were out till, 1 or 2 in the morning maybe. And then we got a phone call saying we have to quarantine, but we weren't exactly in the right state of mind to focus on that. And so, we woke up and we were hungry. What did they say last night? We had to stay in our rooms. How do we get breakfast? So we just got breakfast. And then they call us over the loudspeaker on the entire boat. I mean, a cruise has 6,000 people on it. And they by name, they told us to get back to our room. And then we had to sit there for a full another day in that small little room. They did bring room service the whole time, but it was a long day.
Yeah, I learned how to make towel animals. And we got free Wi-Fi that day, woohoo, which was horrible. We actually were able to tell our families we got engaged.
Yeah.
That's good that they found out. But then, the whole rest of the trip was fine. We got to celebrate and do all that.
It was good. Yeah. It was still a good trip, even though we were quarantined for that day and a half or whatever.
I'm like, are you sure you want to still marry me? Are you sure this is like the true test. Get engaged and then get locked up for 36 hours.
In a very small room.
With no windows.
With no windows, yeah.
And bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's good. And now here we are. Here's our wedding day that you're listening to this in Colorado. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, okay. So switching gears. So you're a high school teacher and for a long time I've been an elementary teacher. So based on your whole high school experience, like I know meeting me was a big shock when it came to the elementary world. Like I would tell you things coming home, especially I had a really, really, really hard class when I taught third grade. But would come home and you would be so shocked. Like that's what it's like in elementary. And I know during COVID, when we had to teach online, you actually got to see firsthand what it's like teaching elementary and high school. Mm-hmm. You would walk by my door and I was teaching kindergarten and you're like, what is going on in there? Like my voice is all high and I'm like reading a book or something. Like what in the world? But what would you think is the biggest difference between our teaching jobs? So high school Spanish versus K through 5 STEM.
I mean, it's not even the same job. It's night and day. Like they're so different. To be honest, I don't know how elementary school teachers do it. There's no way. I mean, I guess there are pluses and minuses. Like they don't have to grade hundreds and hundreds of essays and tests, but to be with like 25 little guys like that all day, every day, I don't see how they do it. There's no way I could.
You don't clean up bloody noses?
No.
Or like tell them to go.
We get bloody noses. We just tell them to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you don't like say, go get your extra change of clothes. Let me wipe your face with a baby wipe.
No,
you don't have that?
No, we just have kids trying to get high in the bathroom.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, our bathroom issues are different.
That's good.
Yeah, we deal with different stuff.
Yeah, well, it kind of happens in elementary. Yeah, it is different. And you see a little bit too, like with our neighbor kids. I like to make them little STEM activities, and it's a lot more. Like even when I show you some of the STEM stuff, you're like, that is way more than what I do for Spanish.
Oh yeah. The lessons you come up with are like way more creative and like they look way nicer than what I make. So
you have good stories. Like you write good stories.
Sure, yeah.
I'm like, wow, you wrote that?
Yeah, but you make them all like pretty.
Yes.
I don't.
Well, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
We're sitting here at my table right now and there's wedding stuff all over the table and I've been making stuff on the computer for it. So Eric's a good fit for me because if there is two of us in this relationship, like me, where I have like all this creativity and all these ideas, Eric's very grounding for me. So you're very, very supportive.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. And here we are getting married. Okay, with that, what has been the most surprising thing you've seen me do in my business or something you're most proud of?
Oh my God. I just say like you building like your little, whatever we're going to call this, like with Instagram and podcasts and your teachers pay teachers and all your business. It's not like one business. So it's like so many different things that you're doing like from the ground up, like, cause I met you had no money and you're ready to live the rest of your life by yourself. Yes. And you're like, you weren't going to go to Top Golf because you didn't have any money.
I didn't.
And so like, like I can't even buy beer. Like it is. And so now, selling your townhome and making your business and then and now good enough where you are going to retire from your teaching career and follow your business, like to do that from like zero to nothing, to where you're at now, which is like probably not even close to where you'll end up being, So I'm hoping so. So I can retire a very rich person with your business.
Well, you're so supportive of me too. Even when I first met you, my business at the time, I don't know if you remember, but it was Marvelous Miss Meredith. Mm-hmm. And I gave you my business card. It was a really pretty picture of me. And you would actually carry my business card with you. Yeah. And then you had it in your I think you still have it in your closet.
I might. I probably have
I
it
think
still.
you have it.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah. And then I changed it because everyone kept calling me Meredith, which is confusing.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So I just changed it to my name. But it was so sweet because ever since the beginning, I've always told your friends about me and my business. And your friends actually asked me about stuff too. Mm-hmm. And most of them are teachers. And I know that remember saying you were surprised, like you had no idea this was a whole thing. Like that you could actually do this.
I had no idea about any of this.
Yeah. Like, because high school teachers pay teachers doesn't really... that much.
I never heard of any of it before.
So, like, a lot of it, too. I mean, I never knew I'd have a podcast either.
Yeah.
But all of this, I had, like, inklings of it, but, thanks for noticing all that. And even, it's just really fun. And you know that I love doing it, too. Like, I'm just very passionate about... Mm-hmm. Like, if I really, really like something, I really dive in. If I really don't like doing something, like cleaning the house.
Yeah, like you never do it.
I don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
He knows. So that's really fun. Okay, so you already mentioned we travel a lot, but, and we have a very fun honeymoon planned. Mm-hmm. We're going to Europe for a long time, and you're going through all that stuff before we started recording. So a lot of the time, we like to go to zoos, aquariums, and museums, and we both like to learn about the world and just learn about our surroundings. We're teachers at heart. We love to learn. We've done some really cool things that have influenced both our jobs and just help us be better people. So out of this list, I picked 3 places we've been to. Which STEM experience did you like the most? So we have San Diego Zoo. We went there on Christmas Day, which is so funny because we got engaged on a Christmas.
Yeah.
So we have that one. So big, beautiful museum. It was raining. Mm-hmm. That one. We have the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, and we've been twice.
Yeah.
So we went one time when it was really, really cold, and we spent the whole day there, and we did. We each took a class at the same time. So I took a 3D printing class with all these little kids, and I was the only adult in there. And I told the instructors, like, I just want to learn how adults teach children 3D printing. And then you were doing like a video or something.
Yeah.
You did something.
I forget what it was on.
Yeah, but it was I think it was like about Colombia.
Well, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Cuba. No, it was Cuba. It was about Cuba.
Yeah, so you did that, and then we spent the whole day there. And then we went back again because they had the Art of the Brick Lego experience.
Mm-hmm, and cool.
I really, really wanted to see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to post some pictures of this, you guys. And then, okay, those are your 2 options. And then one more, the Smithsonian Museums in Washington, D.C. And there's so many of them. Yeah. I just said general. So out of that list, which one of those 3 is your favorite STEM experience?
Yeah, they're all good. I mean, the zoo was unreal. You know, most people know of it. I went to a zoo my entire life as a kid. Like, that's how my mom babysat us. Like, we're going to the zoo every week. Again, I'm from Chicago, so the Museum of Science and Industry, I think, is one of the best museums around. She couldn't believe it. Like, we literally spent 8 hours there. I mean, it's a whole day experience with the submarine exhibit. I mean, you spend 2 hours just at the exhibit. We probably did, and we didn't even go into it. But the Smithsonian museums, I mean, it was 3 or 4 days just checking out museums. Mm-hmm. And we could go honestly for another week and see totally different stuff in Washington. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a loaded question. Well, the Smithsonian's there's 20 some museums or whatever.
I know.
So that's got to beat out just, smaller.
Yeah.
One museum or one zoo. So I'd go, Washington, D.C. was the best.
I know, we really liked that trip. Oh, that was a Christmas trip, too.
I think so. Just because I have a small family that's in Arizona, and your family is in Utah. We don't have any family out here, so we just go travel.
Yeah. And it's like we like quality time. We don't really buy gifts. Well, I buy you little things here and there, but we don't buy presents.
Yeah, we travel as a gift.
Yeah, we travel. So, yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah.
All those there.
They're all good. Yeah. I mean, we could honestly go back to Washington and see a totally different experience and not see one of the same things and spend a whole week there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. And it's funny because he'll take a lot of pictures of things for your class. Or you're like, oh, I could talk to my students about this.
Mm-hmm.
Or I even take pictures, like I go through my phone and you're like, don't upload these in our shared folder. But I'm like taking pictures of different exhibits or things that could inspire STEM projects. Or even when we went to Meow Wolf the first time. That there was actually a STEM thing in there. I don't know if you remember, but there was like this dinosaur thing, and it had these ribs, and then you played the ribs like with a mallet, and it made noise. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was above your head, and that reminded me of this STEM thing called a makey, and you actually can connect it to things that are conductive, and when you press it, it makes a sound. So it reminded me of a STEM. So I'm always thinking about this stuff. Like, trust me, I relax, but it's always in the back of my mind when we're traveling, especially zoos, aquariums, and museums.
Yeah.
So if you're ever stuck on ideas, head up to your local zoo. Okay, pop quiz. I hope you pass.
And me too.
What does STEM stand for?
That one's easy. Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Wrong.
What?
It's right.
And STEAM has art.
Oh, you get extra credit. Extra credit. Good job, Eric.
I know, I'm good.
He was smiling on that one. He's been frowning the whole time, and now he's smiling.
Oh.
Okay, 2 more questions. Why do you think STEM is important for kids?
I mean, those are all areas that the world works on. But I think there's other stuff that's super important too. That's why, I think STEM is awesome as like maybe a class, but not just a school only focused on that. I think the arts are important, or the performing arts, right? Fine arts. I think PE is super important. Our kids in order to graduate have to learn how to swim. I mean, talk about a life skill. So there's so much more than just those 4, but those 4 are obviously huge areas that you need to know in most jobs, or just how the world really functions with science and engineering and everything, and technology is obviously huge, and you need math to do most of those things.
And even like those like little skills that they work on, and you probably see this in your students, they need work on, is being able to collaborate with each other, critically think through a problem, not giving up the first time when it's hard, being able to persevere, even thinking creatively through problems. Like even with your students, like Spanish assignments, even when they're creative with their writing assignments, it just like adds like another level up on things.
Well, there's a reason like a lot of colleges want you to have high level math and high level world language is because it's that processing skill that, a lot of people have trouble with getting to that upper level math and world language, because it's easy to pass, algebra 1, maybe geometry, Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 are pretty easy to get through, but to get through like Spanish 4 and pre-calc and those upper level things, you have to be able to do a lot of problem solving and a lot of figuring out of things, even in a foreign language, because there's so many things they don't know, but you can figure it out by the context and everything.
I try to, when we go get Mexican food, figure out the context. When we travel, I do okay.
You do okay.
I do okay. But by the end of the trip, I do better.
Yeah.
Like you kind of pick up on more things.
You pick up a lot of stuff. Just in a week, you can pick up a lot.
Yeah. Which, hence you studied abroad and learned a lot.
And we try to go to places where they speak more Spanish and English. We try not to do just a Cancun resort. We try to, like the Costa Rica trips. We're in a Spanish, Costa Rican resort. Yeah. Where they speak Spanish first, English second. Yeah.
So it's good practice. Yeah. Test my skills and yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is airing on our wedding day. So if people are listening to this, I'm putting on a pretty dress. So much fun. What is something you're most excited about?
Besides the actual marrying of you?
Yes, you should be excited to marry me.
I don't know. I think the food and wine is going to be unbelievable. We're at the winery, and so it's going to be the food is so good there, and the wine is really good. I think that's going to be great. Having it's not a big wedding, but having a lot of our friends there and family, it's going to be a good day.
Okay, you took mine. So
the food and wine is so good.
Yes, you took mine. And we love this place because we've been going there every month since our wedding time, right?
Yeah, since a year ago.
Yeah. What I'm also excited about is our video guest book and our DJ.
Yeah, he'll be good.
Our DJ is just so much fun, and he has some fun games planned and different things for us to do. And we were talking with him, and we have a video guest book. And so instead of signing the globe that I originally had planned, that will probably look horrible with people's signatures, I'm not doing that. His wife does a photo booth, and then we have a video guest book so people can leave messages throughout the night.
It's gonna be good.
So that'll be fun to see people after.
Yeah.
And to see their outfits and what they have to say. It'll probably be really cute at the beginning and then crazy towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it'll be really good. Yay. It's so fun. And we're recording this for fiancés. But then when this airs, we'll be husband and wife. It's so exciting.
It's kind of cheesy, but yeah.
It's true, though.
It is very true, yes.
We've been engaged for a while.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It is good.
Yeah. I'm so glad. Well, anything else you would like to share?
I'm good.
You did a good job. I got you to talk for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So good job, Eric.
Thanks.
Well, we probably won't ever hear from Eric again on this podcast.
I'll see you guys.
But he's actually a big part of why this can happen. He's just very supportive. And if I have to record something after school or meet with a guest where it's later at night because of time zones and everything, he's a big support of why I can do all the things that I can do for you guys. You definitely believe in me, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, you're good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next episode as an official wife. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Elementary STEM Coach Podcast. I would love to connect with you over on Instagram at NaomiMeredith_ or send me an email to elementarystemcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Also, make sure to check out my website, NaomiMeredith.com, to see all the show notes from today's episode and shop my K-5 STEM resources. Any questions you have, needs for resources, or ideas for episodes, get in touch. I'll talk to you soon.